My name is David Farmer. I'm the CEO of Medasia Marine. I was born and bred in the United Kingdom, where I began my early careers in the industry, which evolved into the maritime industry, which is where I am today. Well, I grew up on the River Thames. So as a teenager, I spent the majority of my time learning about how boats were built, cruisers were built, how people management were managed on various different river trips. It was a natural progression for me after I graduated, and I graduated in the automotive industry. Well, we were educated to evolve engineering, so not just fix it, to be able to manage something that fix the problem, but reduce the risk of it happening again. When you transit that into the maritime world, it becomes a lot clearer and easier to manage because you've got that background to do it. So we spend a lot of time thinking about things before we actually put it into practice. I came here to UE 10 years ago by invitation for some high net worth individuals to build some bespoke products in the maritime side. Over my career, I've specialized in building or being able to build, manufacture, design things that others can't or won't do. So I've got quite a specialist niche in that. UAE's Net 2050 vision is aligned with everybody else's, but UAE's difference is that they're very proactive in getting that vision into the people and get it into a place which benefits the public for the future. Our company is aligned with all those, the majority of those things, I have to say, in order to build sustainable products for the benefit of the future generations. As I mentioned before, I'd worked for many years in different shipyards in many countries, learning, listening. I'm a great listener, and I evaluate an awful lot of things before I decide to do them. So 30 years ago, I decided that now was the time to make that into a business. I qualified as a maritime surveyor. We do various interventions with different high-profile projects all over the world. And moving into sustainability and the relevant projects that we do now was just a natural thing for me. Like families, we all have families. We move that way. We're looking for the future for them, ultimately. The products are unique. I can't really tell you too much about that, of course, because being in this bespoke industry, we have a high level of confidentiality. But what I will tell you is that everything that we do is unique. We've very, very rarely will build the same thing twice. Or if we're doing a production run of a particular boat or model, no two boats will be the same. If we build two boats the same, it means for us that we've got something wrong. But we're always planning something different. What I've learned over the years, Reem, is to stay ahead of the curve. My visionary plans and designs are probably 5 or 6 years in advance. With regard to the sustainability side of things, the word, by virtue of what it is a very big word. And I think a lot of in the early days, people wanted to take that word and use it in many different things. Everybody's looking for the same goal. And everybody's on the same parallel road. For us, we found that just instead of using the word sustainability, research it, make sure that we've got ducks in a line, if you like, for how we say, and to make sure that the things that we build are ethical and they are sustainable for the right reasons. So I think that when we've taken that, we've gone forward 2, back 1, and then started to educate and create the products that we're making in order to accelerate down later down the line. Well, I think the integrity is something that you can't buy. You earn that over the years. And when you've blessed with that, you should nurture that and use that to your advantage. They create something that is from a passion or whether they're writing a book. When it comes to our business, by virtue of what we've created so far, we understand that we need an inspiring time to be able to generate or germinate the next idea. And this comes, I prefer Sunday afternoons on my own boat, which I did build myself. So I enjoy sitting, relaxing there, just relaxing with the water and just being able to generate these future ideas. Not all of them, I have to say. But if you've got 10 good ideas, there's always one that ultimately you can turn that into a product that gives you commercial value. Traditional architecture is something that by historians that we've all grown up with. So we benefit and become inspired by that. Taking that architecture and putting that alongside the sustainability, the ethical side of what we're all doing for the future benefits each other. But each person has a different way of being able to manipulate those two things to get to a creation, which is what somebody somewhere will want. There was always an element of sustainability. It's just nowadays in the 20th century, realize and understand the urgency of being order to protect the planet. And don't get me wrong, I don't want to be I'd rather be an actionist than one that spends most of their time talking about it. I'd rather just do it. In timeframes, we generate an idea, we map that idea out, we look at the market, we look at market shares, we look to see where these units can be sold into. Right now, we have 3 floating habitable structures projects on the go. Each are individual, each are entirely different. Time frame, I think it takes 4 to 6 months from the time that somebody says go, and that may not be me. It may be someone that says to me, what do you think of this? And then I'll go away and think about it for a month. And then I'll need to design it. I'll need to engineer it. I'll need to reverse engineer it. So ultimately I can see the end product before we even start. So I think 4 to 6 months by the time we get it to market is probably, or potentially get it to market is probably going to be 8 months. I think, from this, you need to understand first your market and what you want to do. In our case of some of the sustainable products that we're building now, the importance was about modularity. In order to manufacture products in the UAE, and it's a great place to do it, you also need to export. And by virtue of the magnitude and size of our project, it's not an easy thing to move around the planet. So modularity in the engineering and the design was important. That's what takes the time.